So, for this video, I'm just going to talk briefly to the reaction of what Daisy Ridley said, that they had no plan for Rey's backstory. She said it in an interview with Josh Gad, who was covering for Jimmy Kimmel on his show. And, well, she's only confirming what I kind of already felt happened. They had no plan for this sequel trilogy. They didn't know what the hell they were doing. They were just. If I have to put it into an explanation, I would say they. It's like when you buy a new action figure, like you bought that new Star Wars action figure and you took it out the box and you played with it, then you broke it, then it just completely got destroyed. Only for years later you figure out this was worth some money and you probably should have handled it with better care. They didn't have a backstory for Rey. They didn't have a plan for this entire sequel trilogy. They just went and did whatever the hell they wanted to do for each film. No attention to detail, no attention to continuity, no attention to plot holes. And this is why the sequel trilogy is the flaming dumpster fire it has become. The Force Awakens was very good. The Last Jedi pretty much serves as that flashpoint that broke the sequel trilogy, and then The Rise of Skywalker is trying to fix everything that went wrong in The Last Jedi. So, what Daisy Ridley confirmed was just what I always knew. They had no plan, no one was overseeing anything, and they just wanted to rush out a sequel trilogy to cash in on Star Wars. And it might hurt them long term and it might help them. Like, let's be real, the original trilogy built an empire, and the sequel trilogy to be worse than the prequel trilogy could very well diminish the return on the investment you've made in purchasing Star Wars. Now, getting back to Daisy Ridley, you know, I think not having Rey's backstory fleshed out hurt the character. Which, and being that she's the main character, it overall hurts the sequel trilogy. And everybody pretty much calls her Mary Sue, and I'm not going to dispute that. But I think if you fleshed out her backstory, then maybe she's not so much of a Mary Sue. Like, if she's Luke's daughter, is she a Mary Sue then? No, because we know that Luke, if the backstory is she's Luke's daughter, Luke was training her to be a Jedi. But when Kylo Ren got crazy and had a nightmare and killed all his students, he feared for his daughter's life, and he feared that, you know, if the best thing to do was hide her away. Then everything makes sense. Well, she's a natural flyer. So was Luke. She knows how to handle a lightsaber. She was being trained. She's strong in the Force. Well, no shit, she's a Skywalker. And I think that was originally J.J. Abrams' plan, but for whatever reason, he couldn't outright just do it in The Force Awakens. So he hoped that maybe Rian Johnson would do it in The Last Jedi, but obviously without communication, without anyone doing oversight. The reason why I think Rey was always meant to be a Skywalker, at least for J.J. Abrams, was that scene in The Force Awakens where the Force is calling to her through Anakin's lightsaber. A lightsaber went from father to son to Palpatine? And that's where I think they should have just said, well, okay, you're gonna be a Skywalker, though you don't know you're a Skywalker, but you're gonna be a Skywalker because a lightsaber that went from father to son to granddaughter makes more sense than from father to son to Palpatine. You know, and the backstory is you have some Jedi training. Luke puts you away because he believes it's the family right that you get deserted on a desert planet. His grandfather was on a desert planet. He was on a desert. His father was on a desert planet. He was on a desert planet. His daughter gotta go to the desert planet. Rite of passage for the Skywalker men, and this one Skywalker woman. And I think it would have been fine. She wouldn't be considered a Mary Sue. It would be like, compare it to Ken Griffey Sr. and Ken Griffey Jr. Ken Griffey Sr. may not be a Hall of Fame baseball player, but he was a good baseball player. Ken Griffey Jr. is one of the all-time greatest baseball players. Although we don't act like he is over 600 home runs. But this isn't a sports. But so you can kind of see it as like she's just a natural next progression in the DNA, and then nothing comes out of place. Nothing comes off as Mary Sue. It's like, yeah, you're Luke's daughter. You had some training. You're pretty good. Now you're gonna get better. But Rian Johnson didn't do that in The Last Jedi. He basically wanted her to be a nobody. But you can't be a nobody. You know, if you listen to Dave Filoni in the Mandalorian documentary series, he says Star Wars is about family. So this Rey girl was always supposed to be part of the family. And has she just been a Skywalker, one way or another? You know, Luke's daughter, or maybe Kylo Ren's baby sister. You know, again, we stashed you away because your brother, your cousin, went cuckoo and he was gonna kill you, and we didn't want to take that chance. And Luke went into hiding because I know that he was gonna hunt me down, and we just did not want you to die. Fair assessment, right? Fair point. Fair point. Can we agree? Fair point. So yeah, I mean, they didn't have a plan, and I'm not shocked. I'm not angry. I knew it all along. The moment I saw The Rise of Skywalker, it became abundantly clear. They never had a plan. So, not much we could do about it now. It is what it is. Either you like the trilogy, sequel trilogy, or you don't. There's no right or wrong. You like what you like. You don't like what you don't like. But life moves on. It's just a shame because you would think these companies that have more money than anyone would know how to oversee the making of a movie, but clearly they don't. You know, but it is what it is. We move on, we look on, and there's plenty of other Star Wars content out there to fill that sequel trilogy gap. If you have one, if you liked it, hey, nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Enjoy what you enjoy. That's all you can do in life, right? Anyways, this is enough from my little rant on Lucasfilm and what Daisy really said. I'm out. Catch you next time. Like and subscribe, and let me know what you think in the comments. I will respond. Let me know what you thought about what Daisy really said, what your thoughts on the sequel trilogy are. And again, see you next time. Bye.